the the door. So the door metaphor is, you know how door has, let's say, two classical pillars, or on the right hand side, on the left hand side, then you have another slab of stone which is holding the upper part, you know, old fashioned doors. And metaphor for that, on the right hand side, when it comes to human relations, you have the balance or disbalance, the power. So we have a certain element here. So what means a balance of power? In practical terms, that means if you have 50% of power, if I have 50% of power, we are friends, we communicate on equal footing, and there is a sense of mutual respect. If I have 70% of power and if you have 30% of power, that means you're my employee, and in Croatia that means something along the line: govno jedno, smeće jedno, pičko jedna, gledaj u pod kad ti pričam, da nema mene, kruha bi gladan pio, kupio bi boce iz kontejnera, ti ovako 20 takvih ko ti čeka na tvoje radno mjesto, etc. Meaning, you piece of shit, without me you would be hungry, you would be collecting bottles from garbage containers, 20 guys like you are waiting for your place. This balance of power is immediately determining how relationship gonna go. And if you say, let's say, if you have 100% of power, and if I have zero power, that means you just walked into the supermarket, you bought a piece of meat, and shitloads of other groceries. You paid at the smart cash registry with your credit card, and you walk into your car. That meat happened to be mine. I happen to be, in this hypothetical case, some living being, conscious living being, slaughtered in a meat industry, and that meat neatly packaged for carnivores, starvinary like you. You understand me? This is the disbalance of power. And when you have you always have an element of time. For example, let's say you are middle class person from North America or some lucky country, and you have certain amounts of money which are unattainable for me in my next 10 following incarnations. But you respect me, you respect my knowledge, you've been watching this channel, and this is how the relationship starts. Very, very quickly you're gonna notice that I don't have much. You're gonna notice what Ivo Andrić, the great Serbian writer who was technically born as a Croatian Catholic in Bosnia but became Serbian because balance of power, literally, said, tri stvari se ne mogu sakriti, kašalj, siromaštvo i zaljubljenost. Three things cannot be hidden: coughing, poverty, and being in love. So very quickly you're gonna notice, no, I'm not in love with you, no, I do not cough, but I am poor, and that would give you leverage to immediately, in time, use it against me. And this is simply the essence of the human relations. It cannot be avoided. This human body is nothing but ape from the family of apes. Chimpanzees and gorillas are 99% of the human DNA. So this is simply how it is, but it's still very animalistic body. Some of us have souls, most of us don't, and you know the drill. That is also explaining the equation. However, doesn't change the fact that even us who are sold, we still live in these animalistic bodies, and we have animalistic urges and tendencies, and even the best person, when it's cornered, can act like a vicious animal. That is human nature, guys. Okay, and that's something which needs to be accepted as such and understood as such. Yes, I've been talking a lot about what I like to say reptilian, Illuminati, psychopaths, etc. But I would like to structure this point too like this. There are essentially three basic three basic levels of humans. There are many areas in between them, but I'll summarize it. You have the privileged individuals from Illuminati families. individuals from the satanic families, or simply reptilian shapeshifters, right, and other demonic beings. These are the people whom system is pushing up. These people have, as we say, vietar u jedra. They have a wind into their sails in a life, and their life is already set up early in a childhood, etc., etc. But of course, there is price to be paid, like mind control and trauma based mind control, etc. But you got the idea. So there is a second group of people we like to call normies. This is pejorative term, but I think it's the best possible at this moment. So normie is somebody who is not helped by the system, in a sense that system is working for him, that he has a wind in sails. And this would be my friend Nele, while in first category would be my ex Manuela. And system is not helping them, but it's also system is not holding them back. So that means they can rise and they can fall based on their individual merits. And I think this is, in my understanding, this is pure blessing. I remember some periods of my life, I always call it the first stage in work, when nobody's helping me to get the ropes, but also nobody is doing mobbing either. So this is the time when I struggle to understand, let's say, videography on board Holland America ships, or to learn how to be tour guide, when they simply send me on tour with 44 Germans in a bus, and German bus driver to town I never been to in my life, and I need to be tour guide there. And I manage it because I prepared myself and ask other colleagues, begging them to help me with a little info, where to turn the bus, where to park the bus, and what are the catches, etc., etc. So, this is how it is, and it's really beautiful, because using your intelligence and using your motivation, motivated by the money, of course, every normal human being is very interested in better himself or herself or his self, and make this sweet euro or dollar, depending where you're from. And the third level would be targeted individual. Targeted individual is somebody against the whole system is working against, and that person is seriously fucked in life, and also very blessed in life, because by definition, targeted individual has a natural connection to the God. And in my understanding, targeting never ends. It is happening from incarnation to incarnation. Every single one of you TIs who's watching this, and I hope that you are watching. It will be perfect that only TIs are watching this. I don't like when normies are watching this. Essentially, they are enemies, right? So even when you die, in the next incarnation, system gonna be very much aware of you, and aware that you're not somebody who can be easily, or even with difficulty, manipulated. And obstacles will be placed in your life, and your life will be as it is, as you know it the best. So um, there are some things which I'm struggling to comprehend them, and it's partially the reason why there was no update for a very long time. But I'll try to explain it like this. So this will be number 3. So how it is with us humans? Somebody approaches me, befriends me. We spend lots of time together. I start liking that person, and then, of course, from liking, it progresses to trusting. So you trust people, you developed liking, okay? And even if that person betrays you, and again, you will forgive that person simply because of the emotions. And as long as I was trapped into my ego consciousness, I could simply not notice the patterns which been repeating and repeating, and I was in the same trap any normal human being is, which is that you simply are blind. Love is blind, blind when something is very obvious. So I did make update about my ex. However, I did not have courage to edit it and go through it and put it online, um, because many reasons. But then again, I also intuitively, very intuitively felt that I simply need to speak about that, and I will use this opportunity to speak at least 10% of what I intended to say. And this 10% will be, I'll start with the end. So we know each other more than half of my life. We met in 1998 as a young people, and excuse me. And just to give you, I'll just say it like this: many years ago, I tried to talk to her about Freemasons, and she was blowing it off. Ha 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 ha, zidari, ha ha ha. Hoćeš reći da bauštelci iz Bosne koji rade na baušteli da oni vladaju svijetom, Kruno, ti si stvarno puko. Ha 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 ha, Masons, you want to say that the construction workers from Bosnia, uh, traditionally these are the people who do this kind of jobs in Croatia. You want to say that these Bosnian Muslims construction workers, that they rule the world? You're crazy. Ha 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 ha, bauštelci, ha 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 ha, bauštelci. Baustelle on German means construction site. From that language it came into Croatian. And so, I was like, yeah, she really doesn't get this stuff. I of course try to rationalize it. She was a good student in the gymnasium, nose buried into books, and boys, also very sexually active. So that was her life. Then now when she started to study medicine, of course she's only into dicks and books, and she never had the time to develop herself for anything else but studying and fucking basically, and now dealing with the family and working. But that's it, as we say, fach idiot. So she's a fach idiot, right? Okay, fast forward 2023 summer. I get messages from her while we've been debating over Viber. Znaš, i ja imam jako puno članova obitelji u masonima, mnogi su visoko pozicionirani, ali ja nisam nikada tražila nikakve veze, nisam se nikad s tim služila. I have many family members in Freemasons, many of them highly positioned, but I was never pulling those strings from my career. And I'm like, my first shock was like, Manuela, she heard of Freemasons? Like, and then second shock, like, she's acknowledging them? This is literally how my brain. And then I'm like, wait, she's saying that she's from Masonic family, highly positioned, many family members. What the fuck? Huh? And then I asked her, who are these guys? And she didn't want to say. And then it dawned to me. So when a young conspiracy theorist in my early 30s approached her, hey, Manu, did you hear of the Freemasons? They rule the world, bougie, bougie, bougie. And she to me, bougie, 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 I am even more naive than you. Ha, 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 that's crazy talk. You think that some people who work at the construction uh, sites for shitty jobs, wages, if they're ruling anything. She was actually coming from the Masonic family. She knew a great deal of shit about Freemasons. And do I need to conclude for you guys? I don't. I know that my fellow TIs get it. But there is always this 10% of really stupid types which really need everything neatly to be explained to them and repeated twice so they could start getting it. So imagine this. I'm not a handsome guy. Far from rich, far from middle class, far from lower middle class, I'm poor. And I always wondered what the fuck did she see in me? Now I get it. And very opposite. Beautiful, very intelligent, well educated, from a good family, good education, always was rich, now is rich, has very high up in the medical hierarchy. She is not your medical doctor. Okay, she's not that level. Specialized in pathology. Every crowd knows what that means. For those of you who don't, this is where the money is. Meaning, when she literally was telling me, oh, I had oh, I can't really say, but certain institutions coming to her and telling her to falsify reports, and she was very principled and says, no, I'm gonna write in the report exactly how a person died, not what you people want me to write it down. And in a corrupt system as this one is, everybody, every is. But let's say that Eastern Europe has lots of mosquitoes here. That Eastern Europe has worse reputation than some other parts. Of course, that you cannot be clean in a corrupt system, right? That shit doesn't work. Being clean in corrupt system is like, she is virgin, but she works like a prostitute. She's been working like a prostitute past 15 years, but she's virgin. She never been touched. I'm virgin. I just happen to be working as a prostitute. You have to trust me. You always have to trust women. You understand me? So, yeah, she is the person who's basically deciding if guy was shot in the back. She puts in a report that he hanged himself, let's say, like this. And this later on goes into the paperwork. And no, this is not America. You cannot get independent thought. Every province has three guys like her who are determining reality, and that's it. Okay. And you know I'll just gonna leave it to that. So yeah, like, okay. So you have to understand my trust issues when it comes to humans. Of course, more than few times she was telling me basically that she believes that I'm mentally ill with my conspiracy theories thing and stuff like that, gaslighting, and when you see to what level that metaphysical evil is willing to penetrate your life, even with offering you sexual services, right? You understand me? This is when you start understanding the nature of the human contacts, that there is always quid pro quo. And now I understand what was her uh, quid, I guess. So what else I need to say? I think I just gonna stop with this. I don't want to really talk too much about that, although I could talk a lot. uh, I could talk a lot, but I think this was enough to get the picture. So you know when you old, you start understanding those patterns. Like, literally, she repeated the same line from Voivoda. I'm coming from Masonic family, members of family higher up in the hierarchy, but I have nothing to do with them. This is something which is very obvious, but then again, I'm human, and when you love somebody, then you trust that person, and it's simply psychological catch, and that's why we need to exit the emotional realm into pure intuitive and pure logical realm, like two lines, and observe things as they are, because we are all very easily manipulated. So nothing else should be said more about the friendship. All the friendships Ti has, all the contacts Ti has, are doomed to fail. And this is something I was getting in meditation. I think I should make a drawing of this sign like a circle. A circle means all the space and space time, and then one line going through that circle, like all the time, from the beginning, now, and the end. All human relations are doomed to be under the control. Everybody is under the mind control. Everybody is influenced by the power which is running this world, which is not a real God. However, it has, in a demonic way, God attributes of being present and influence human minds, like a hive mind. And every human contact will be corrupted. And many times these things gonna be done in such a brutally simple and a stupid way, that guys like you and me, which is gonna be watching it and like wondering what the fuck, like how come he or she do something so stupid, so low, etc., etc. But then you understand, and of course this goes for us. We don't always govern our emotions and our and actions, of course, but these people who are oblivious, especially if they don't have any consciousness at all, like organic portals, these are the robots. And you know, I think for the end, I'm just gonna say something from this Fritz Springmeier's book about Illuminati, when he's describing the consciousness of Illuminati. So, for example, you know, the classical, bubbly, very happy, shining, rich, blonde Illuminati member with so positive view to the life. So his programmer programmed his front altar to be very positive, and he was love bombing that front altar. And of course he's been very blessed by the material wealth. Talking about lifestyle, people like you and me, we cannot even comprehend. Manuela can, because she has this kind of lifestyle. And also very bubbly. And um, and also everything, every negative thing is then pushed into the altars. Let's say her name is Diana, altar is Mary, that altar is taking abuse of the programming, sexual abuse, etc. When that altar is filled with the essentially horror, then it goes to another altar which can be of the age of 5, and it's like a circle of mirrors. Every altar has a sub altar. It's a grid, 13 main personalities by 13 sub personalities, etc. And this way a skillful programmer can skillfully manage those people. And but what they do is that inner evil and inner trauma is still in them. Simply it cannot surface. If it starts to surface, they're gonna essentially have many mental breakdowns, and they're just gonna fail. You understand me? They're gonna be suicided, or they're gonna be killed, and it's complete motherfucking mess. You understand me? So, but their hate is then projected towards the target they hate. And this is something when I stumbled upon them, when I really experienced this hate, this pure psychopathic hate, I was always wondering from where it's coming and why it's directed to me. I didn't do anything to that person. I didn't deserve it anyway. And the level of hate which is coming is absolutely like volcano like. So these are the, you know, perfect examples of the fake consciousness, which can easily fool anybody, right? We all function by the principle of confirmation, by the pre-selection. So meaning if somebody is rich, if somebody has a circle of people who are respecting him, if somebody is beautiful and has a gym body, of course that person dressed right expensively, that person is immediately deeming respect, because the whole circle around him is giving him respect. For example, in the game, pickup artists have this game. When they approach a woman and they already have two women with them, these women are giving him the credibility points. You understand me? So it's very easy to fall on that, etc., etc. That's why intuition is very important to be used in discerning. And also using the common sense. As I said, they are privileged people. They are the people who are neither privileged neither stopped. And then there are us. And when you have somebody privileged, when you have somebody who is doing very well in this system, which is both demonic and very corrupt, you have to ask yourself, what is he bringing to the Satan's table that Satan is blessing him with all these gifts? Because Satan is not giving something for nothing. So yeah, this is how it goes, and never trust the rich. Uh, if you can pick up anything from this one, don't ever, in any occasion, trust the rich. Rich are evil. I'll end with that.